Hi, everyone. We're just waiting for everyone to join us. Yes, thank you so much for your feedback. Absolutely. So usually schools would print it out and then the governing body will sign it and then they will submit it along with other required documents. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, we're just waiting for another minute or so. I have emailed. All right, the next question is, to create the learner database, can information be imported from a spreadsheet? Yes, that's why we've created, it's called the CIMAS import tool. So when the schools onboard with us, we will provide them with the template and then you will just populate it and it will be imported into the system with all your classes and grades and CIMAS numbers if your school uses them, or family codes, because the system is customizable. So even if you don't use CIMAS numbers, it's not a problem. Or if your school uses family codes, you can add them. So it's up to the school. So just to tell you, currently we're working with both public schools and independent schools, as well as art centers and music schools. And each school has some unique requirements, but most of it, we can look at it, what your school needs, and we can, make it work in our system. I hope this answers the question. Okay, the next question is, I wanted to know when sending statements and parents don't have access or email addresses, how do you send the statement? Okay, that's a good question. So that is exactly the reason why we have also, included and developed billing on the communicator. Billing basically allows your parents to see what they've paid so far and how much they still owe to the school. And you don't need to email them. When you work in the system and you assign transactions in the bank feed or bank stream, as we call it, the moment you assign it, it's almost instantaneous. It will reflect on their side, on the billing section. So they will see, you know, I've paid whatever it might be, 500 Rand, and they will also see how much they still owe. Okay, I hope that this answers the question.
Anna, I'm back.
All right, great. Okay. Okay, so would you prefer that I show the mocks now, and you carry on
No,
after
it's
me,
fine, it's fine.
or would you like to do the presentation now?
Yeah, I can go. I can carry on.
Okay, sure. All right. Thank you everyone for questions. We will take more questions after the presentation. And if you could just mute your microphones, this will be appreciated. Thank you.
So Anna, you must just allow me to share my screen.
Okay, it should work now.
Okay. And you see, this is what happens. I will explain later about Rise and being my net. I tried to do Ashley Cooper's and I couldn't understand why it didn't happen. It's because I didn't say approve.
You forgot to click on approve. Oh, okay.
All right. Accepted the transaction. So there was nothing wrong. So let's go back to the 043. It's just a little bit slow. Let me run my report again, and it should change now. Still went back to an old model laptop, so it's a little bit. Yes, it's very, very slow. This is not the program, this is really the laptop. Just quickly changed laptops while we change any moment, hopefully. But yes, okay. While this is doing, I just want to say something and everything. But like I said earlier, I never did bookkeeping in my life before. And with Rise, you're not just that we eventually saved a lot of money and I gained a lot of time because I am the bursar, the admin, the secretary, the everything currently. That gives me the opportunity to do my databases, accounting, as well as my communication. Obviously, it saves me time. But the main whole system is self-belief. 2 years ago, there's no ways that I would have been able to talk about bookkeeping and finance. Okay, with numbers, bookkeeping is totally something different. And Rise to me is like that safety net. You get that opportunity to try. They're always there to catch you. So you might fall. I make a lot of mistakes, and they're always there to pick me up. And you know that just that safety net. And the developers, the whole team, is just amazing. And they just follow what you need, specific need, and they. And I must mention the one developer, Nikita, shame, where the team is, because, oh boy, He helped me so much during this period. Well, maybe I'm just going to go out of Rise again and just go back again, okay?
All right.
Yeah, because it seems it's very unstable. Do your bit and then I will follow. Oh, there. Why did it do that? Let's go back. Thank you. Eventually, as you can see, I've approved SEP's fees in the bank stream. Immediately it will show on the WCED, the 043 form, as well it will show on his account as well. The billing now on the phone, they would see that his fees has been approved in the system. And getting back to the question, to forward the 043 to the WC, click on that link, window. No, there it does it again. It was there just now.
And
okay,
what?
No, I'll add.
And the chain thing doesn't. If you click on on that
when
little.
I switched computers now, it was there. That's me. Go back to my.
Okay.
Why does it do that? Okay, but yes, I will just explain to the people. I don't know what happened to that, but on there, you click on the file. There's a menu button, and you select Save As, and you can just save it as, so for instance, WC, and save it as the Excel sheet. And then from the Excel sheet, you can share it either as a link or it be with the WCED. So that is actually easy. We can just maybe later. Okay.
All right, great.
Okay. We can follow that up later.
Yes, sure. So now the SGB has approved your budget for 2021, and you would like to input it into the system.
To the budget section now. Okay. I'm going to keep the 043 open. As you can see, showing in the 043 for this year. And important with the budget, balancing out. If it's not balancing out, then you know there's something wrong with your budget. Okay, to do the budget, you go to accounting, budget. Sorry, I feel terrible going back to the slow thing. Yeah. I'll just quickly show you. So you just select what you date, put in the year, and start doing it. I'm just as well. I just want to show you this is not the finished budget. Now, a way it suits you. I'm doing it like that. So I will put into March, and it will but there's quite a lot of people. I'm going to go back to the create. That has say monthly budgets and term budgets. Let's say just 0. Budget we need and add. Now you can start adding your accounts. Okay, say for instance, let's call it cleaning. I'm just going to do a little bit of them. There's that. And say pack shop, but income. Pack shop. Purchases. I'm just going to do a couple of them. Now it's hanging again. Okay. Well, that is doing its thing. Now you've got your expenses for your expenses. Saying yeah. Now you can either do it like, I prefer it that way, but some of the people spend more than 1,000 Rand a month. So that 12,000 Rand. I'm just waiting for the. Sorry about that. But yes. So while that is doing this thing, so you can decide, okay, I want to do my or per term or throughout the year, say for instance, 2000 March and 3 for May, but in the event of the end, the total must be, when you add it up, the approved budget. So I'm just waiting. Just wanted to do the WCD thing and now it's hanging again. Sorry. And again, this is not the system. This is just very, very old laptop on that I'm working from now. A little bit of poor connection. How will not work. So like I said, I prefer, and when I'm finished with this, I will show you one of my favorite functions and actual. So the whole budget, when it's approved and it's been imported into the in the 043 and everywhere, we buy quite a lot of art supplies. Now the teacher wants to know today how much money for the year. Because with us, that's why I say I prefer it to per month or per term even because it depends on the need and the projects that the children are doing. Ask me, listen, how much do I still have left in my budget? Material. Just by clicking of a button, and I will show you eventually how easy it is to gain access to that information, and you can tell immediately what he has left in his budget to spend.
I'm just thinking, Hanli, maybe,
Okay, you can do yours.
yes, maybe just, yeah, I could just share quickly mine. And I don't know if you want
And
to,
then you,
if you want rather to use your other computer with the internet connection, or whichever way you prefer.
okay.
All right, so I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see it. Okay, so I have one of the info bases open. So what I'm going to do quickly, I will show you marks. Okay, if I may just ask you to mute your. Please, if you could just mute your microphone. So that we can just hear. Okay, thank you. All right, so as I was saying, in the past 6 months, we've been developing the marks module. The marks, I mean, you know it better than I do, has a lot of, complex requirements that schools need to fulfill for the department. So I will show you, what we've done so far. We have finished with this development, and what we're doing now, some of our schools, sent us the WCD schedules, and we've uploaded the marks, and basically they can then test in the Rise system how it works. Okay, so for you basically to start with, you will set your mark types. So these are just the mark types for one of our schools, for the Star of the Sea Convent school, and you'll be able to set it up so it's, basically as easy as that. You just click create and you can create your code, description, term, and order. You will then, after you've set your mark types, you can then basically see how it works in terms of the actual accessibility. So this is mark sheet. So it has your subjects, your mark types, and also it's per term. So if I just open any one of them, you can see that there is the max mark set, there is the subject, there is the mark type, as well as all the learners, with corresponding marks, the conversion. So you can see it per grade, per class. You can also assign educated. Without me taking too much time, I'm just going to show you the result. So ultimately, the result of it is your progress report that you send out to your parents. So this is what it looks like. You can email it, you can print it. And the whole point is that, few schools were requesting us to implement this in the system. And the reason being because they would like to email progress reports, and they would like just for the marks to be more accessible in terms of accessing it, from one place and just making it simpler for them. Currently, just to also give you an update, currently we are developing on the app. Parents will be able to see the progress report, and our developer is currently working on it. And I'm also liaising with schools to get their feedback, because it always helps to hear, for example, what teachers think about this or that functionality, because they will use it also. And also to get the maybe input, possibly even from parents, because parents will use it, from the app. So this is just on the mark side. If you maybe have questions, please, you can ask. Okay, I'm just gonna open my window. It's minimized. Let me stop sharing. Okay, I don't see questions. All right. That's fine. Okay, I'm just going to check if I may ask you to just mute your microphones if possible. All right. Okay, I've muted that now. All right, so lastly, what I wanted to show you also from my side, I can just show you quickly what Hanli started showing you. So the budget in the system, as you can see it's already inputted. What schools usually do, they create a copy of it. So if you already have the budget, you can just make a copy of it and input your amounts. You can also export it if you need to. And if you would like to access, your expenses and your income, you open your budget planned versus actual report. So I'm just gonna set up the period. So for last year, run report. Okay, that will be, as you can see, you can also basically select the period and you just need to run your report. This is your budget amounts. That's what you've planned for, and your SGB has signed it off, as well as the principal. This is your actual amounts. Let me just make it a bit larger. So you can always just enlarge it just to make it more, a little bit bigger. Change scale. Okay. So as you basically, assign your transactions in the bank stream, you will see the actual amount and you will see by how much you're over of your budget, and also percentage wise. So say for instance, your actual, you've planned for 10 million in school fees and your actual one is this amount. And so you're over the budget. Okay. And if you want to see what makes up this amount, you can always just drill down. So you can open your transactions. So you see, these are all the invoices. If you want to open any one of them, you can just click on the actual invoice and see it. You can see the student, the amount, the dates, everything is here. All right, and lastly, what I wanted to just quickly show you, I'm broadcasting my cell phone and I'm just going to enable sharing it with you. So just to see, just to show you what the communicator looks like. So this is the actual app where all schools basically post their news and updates. I have about 2 or 3 of them just for you to see, and it shows the events. And as parents open it up, so for instance this one, it just shows you the message, and you can also see how many parents have viewed this information. So your news events, you can just post it all at once. So these are your events. Also contacts, and you basically can just add your school phone number, your school email address for the parents to be able to see it. You can also create resources. So say, for instance, when we had lockdown, you could create your resources for homework, or you can also maybe add some information on the COVID-19 guidelines or any guidelines that you would like to share, or any resources basically. So how is our communicator different, from other communicators that are currently available? As I was telling you, so it is linked with the billing. So one question was, how can parents see what they've paid if they don't have an email address? So they can just view it here on the communicator. And the other thing is that you as a school also, if you use incidents, for instance, your parent will see it on the app. So the moment you create it as, you create it as a school, the parent will be notified about it. So this we've developed together with one of our schools. So as you can see, there's a code, points that are basically getting assigned here. And then the parent will just confirm, I've read this. And then the other thing is that, as I've mentioned, your teachers, your admin staff members, they can just create news from the app if need be. If they don't have computer on hand, they can just do it here. So just type the text and it's very quick and easy. So this is the communicator in the nutshell. Do you maybe have questions? I see that our meeting will end in 4 minutes. So probably it's a good time now for you to ask your questions. If you have any, you can just unmute your microphone or you can type in the chat window. Okay, let me just access the chat. Okay, we have accounts for Börse and school fees with separate statements. Can we have more than one for each child, and can the money deposited into the bank account be matched for each item? Yes, so you can create invoices for each item. So for your school fees, you will have one invoice. For your bus fare, you will have another invoice. When you send your statement, it will be in one document, but they will see what amount is for what. And you will then match it exactly like you say. You will match it in the bank stream to each item. I hope that this answers your question. Okay. Do we have more questions? Okay, no worries, Hanli. Thank you so much for your presentation. It's appreciated. Okay, the question is from St. James Primary. If the total amount deposited must be split for each item, can it be done? Yes. So on the bank stream, you can either match or you can split. Okay, I hope that this answers your question. Okay, I see we had a previous question asking about whether the bank stream actually links to the statement. Yes, so the bank stream is basically your statement, so all your transactions, and you just match them to the right accounts and to your general ledger account, accounts, if it's outgoing payments. Yeah. Are there more questions from your side? All right, I was planning to show the presentation with you, and I see we have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to do it quickly. And if you have questions, you can always email us. But just to cover, maybe the questions that we haven't yet discussed. So yes, all right. So just to share with you how it all started. We had feedback, one primary school approached us. They asked us to develop the learner data module. And the feedback was that, schools have too many systems, not having enough time in the day and not having correct information for parents and SGB. And that's how it all started. So we've developed the learner data module. And then the next request was, we have so many challenges with the O43. Can you guys also, automate it and develop it? And we've done so. So as you saw, it basically links all your crucial processes in one system, and you can access it in one place, and it will also populate your O43. Just quickly on the feedback from schools, as you can see, I have quite a bit. What I will do is I will email you this presentation because we don't have time. The meeting will end in 1 minute. But what I wanted to share with you, recently we had one new school joining our program, and that school is St. James, Star of the Sea primary, so it's a Roman Catholic school. And I just wanted to share with you their principal's feedback because I found it very inspirational. So they were using 3 other systems, Pastel, D6, and Staff Room. And their principal's feedback is that it's a communication tool, financial package, and school admin all in one. We have made a big saving, eliminating